Hi everyone, I'm back with more Simutrans stuff. As you can see, you're looking at a very big city. This is my pride and joy of what I've been working on lately. The reason I'm doing this video is to try and get people more interested in playing Simutrans. I wanted to show them what is possible inside the game, and maybe inspire them to learn how to play and come and join us on Simutrans. So, yeah, this is my huge city. Once again, I'm playing in Simutrans Extended. This is the advanced version of Simutrans where there's many more features which add many layers of realism to the game, such as passengers will only use transportation if it's close to them. They are more likely to use transportation if it's close to them, which is very much like real life. You don't want to walk, 30 minutes to the bus stop. You're going to use the bus to get to work if it's right outside your door, right? And I'm playing with the Japanese pack sets. This means that the buildings are all mostly related to Japan. They are based off of real Japanese buildings. The regular version of Simutrans Extended, the one that you're gonna be able to download, only comes with the British buildings. And the person who designed them, I'm sure worked really hard on them. They all look good, but the British buildings I think are a little boring. I'm more interested in seeing Japan an urban environment. I was actually really inspired to make this pack set after watching Akira with all the big scenes of New Tokyo. So these buildings already existed, but they were only available for Simutrans Standard. So I just did a little bit of just moving some files around, and I was able to get them into Simutrans Extended. And everything works pretty well. There's some kinks that need to be worked out a little bit, but it's been working pretty well for me. So I'm just going to be talking about my huge city here. I started in the year 2000. Right now it's 2030. I wanted to start in modern times because I kind of just like the modern times the most. Everything before this is a little complicated to work with. But yeah, so I started off with this line going right here. It used to be a single track railway. Right now it's a double track. It used to wind around here, and I believe it connected these two big cities, this one here and this one here. So it was a pretty short line, and it made me a lot of money really fast. This was an easy game to make a lot of money since the cities were so big. However, in Simutrans Extended, it's very expensive to do tunneling or landscape altering. So most of my line runs above ground and has quite a few turns. This makes the trains go slower, but I like it because it's realistic. That's how real railways are. They can't always just go in a straight line. Sometimes they have to go around certain buildings, and sometimes they can't go over a certain hill, so they have to go around. And sometimes you absolutely have to go through the hill. Like right here, I wanted to build from one side of the hill to the other, so I just went under, and there's a city on top, which is great for me because I just added a little subway station, or underground railway station, I should say. So passengers from here can ride the train into town over here, into the city to get to work. Now over here I have a little tram line. This is based off of maybe the trams in like the suburbs of Tokyo. I know there's quite a few tram lines out there. So they have their own right-of-way. The trams in Simutrans can also run on the roads, except they can't go very fast. They can only go the same speed as other vehicles. But if they have their own right-of-way, like here, then they are allowed to go at their maximum speed. So the tram just continues along over here. This is residential suburb neighborhood. Over here we have like public housing, which is I think common in Japan. And the tram line just continues on here. It branches in 3 directions, or 2 directions, I guess. The main line continues this way. And yeah, it connects the suburbs. It brings the commuters into the big city. One thing I like to do is build, you know, clusters of tall buildings around the stations. This is accurate to real life. That's what real estate developers often do. Looks like the year just happened. So, yeah, so it's common to see stuff like this. It's called transit-oriented development. It's very common. Here's another little patch of towers and skyrises for people that want to use the train to get to the city or out to the other outlying cities, like over here. Here's another urban center with a main station and a few branching lines that go off in different directions. I'm going to try and keep this video short, but let's see. I'll show you my last interesting thing. See how big the city is? It's huge. I don't have a great computer. It's all right. It's a newer one. It's still a laptop. It has an i7, but not a lot of RAM. I think it only has 8 gigabytes of RAM. And all of this is simulating. It's running pretty good. I would like to get some more RAM and see what else it can do. It might speed up my frames per second, but right now they're not really noticeably bad. I was going to show you my airport. So as you can see, that's probably isn't an airport, but it's a fun idea for you to simulate a huge international airport. Now the problem in Simutrans is there are airports available, but you don't want to have to build a ton of big cities and then make a bunch of bus lines and connect everything to generate enough passengers to fuel an air industry. So what I like to do is put some of these huge soccer fields, which have a huge visitor demand, 1,100 people, as well as these very populated high-rise buildings to kind of simulate an airport. So see, people want to come here and people are leaving from here, which is, you know, what an airport is like in real life. The only difference is there's no planes landing or taking off. But all the trains are always full. This one has 444 people on board. Tons of people come into the airport because it's like a real international airport. It's like Narita in Tokyo. See, here's the airport line. I've called all these trains Airport Express because it's a cool name. Yeah. So, let me just give you a big picture. Wow, look at that. You can see it's running a little slow now that it's zoomed all the way out because I have got a lot of stuff. I have been playing this for not that long, actually. I'm just really good at this point at making lines and stuff. Not to brag or anything, but you beginners probably won't be able to do this that fast. But hopefully I have inspired you to want to build something like this. Let me show you one last thing. I'll show you my route map. Wow, look at that. Look at all those stations. These over here, those are bus lines. This here, the thicker lines, those are rail lines. Look, I got lots of bus over here crisscrossing the cities. Over here is my only high-speed line. This one, it's only single track because there's not actually enough people not enough demand to justify building a second rail to double track the whole line, because that would be actually very expensive. Here's my high-speed train. Unfortunately, these are not Japanese trains. These are still British trains. The only thing I've changed is the buildings. So yeah, please leave any comments or questions you might have. If you already know how to play Simutrans Extended and you really want to get these Japanese buildings, because there's a far wider variety of buildings than in British Simutrans pack, just leave me a comment and maybe I can make a short tutorial on how to do it. It's quite easy. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you are interested in playing Simutrans. So